I
maybe
think
5 minutes.
as long as you want.
Well, I can summarize, or I can get into a little bit of the history of the company and really the vision of where we're going as a business. It might be helpful for everyone to hear that. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yes, super okay.
Okay, fantastic. So I have a couple of slides, but you just heard from Dr. Chang and Dr. Hester. They've walked you through the foundation of our work, our scientific approach to innovation, the technology behind Prysm IO, and the reality that even essential nutrients are often missing from the modern diet. And that's every country that's in Mexico, Colombia, Peru, all of South America, but yet also in Scandinavia, Japan, Korea. A lot of the challenges is the diversity of the diet. And most people think they eat a variety of foods, but in many cases, they eat the same things over and over and over again, whatever is available to them in their respective marketplace. And so as a result, that's why Nu Skin, our approach essentially begins with a simple but demanding standard. Number one, can we measure it? Can we validate it? Can we demonstrate a meaningful difference? These are the elements that we take to approach the science. And you've heard from Dr. Chang and Dr. Hester these approaches. As we look at the emerging science and the clinical research, these are supported also by advanced technology because the world is happening very quickly. And so much new science is coming out, and artificial intelligence and machine learning is enabling us to understand more than we've ever known before. We can cross-reference studies all over the world in a matter of seconds and understand the potential and limits and constraints, but also the opportunities that are out there that we never had access to before. That's why we were able to mine all of those data points that Dr. Chang talked about earlier. That's why we were able to take all of the information epidemiologically and all the clinical studies that we've done and to pull it all together and make sure we truly understand, can we, for instance, ground this emerging science through the use of biophotonics to deliver objective, repeatable biological insight. So if we can't measure change, we don't consider it innovation. Because Joe's always said, Dr. Chang's always said, look, the difference is that we can demonstrate the difference at Nu Skin. And that's what Prysm IO is all about. So what makes Prysm IO so powerful is that it brings this level of scientific rigor into everyday life. It allows us to move beyond population averages and toward individual biology, helping people see how their food choices, physical activity, supplementation, and daily habits are influencing their health over time. Because instead of asking people to simply trust recommendations, we can actually show progress. That's a big deal. When people can see where they are, clearly get a score of a biomarker of carotenoids, as Dr. Hester talked about before, which isn't the only biomarker, but it's a great biomarker and it's non-invasive. You don't have to poke, you don't have to withdraw blood, you don't have to give up saliva. You can look non-invasively through the skin and understand the levels of carotenoids, which gives us a whole host of things that we didn't know before. Now, we can reinforce positive behavior with real data. So once you have that measurement and you continue to measure, as Dr. Chang said, on a daily basis, we can now support a more informed conversation around the opportunity to optimize and create a long-term wellness plan that works for everyone, not just supplementation. Our focus is on all the different elements of wellness. It's more of a holistic approach. So it's beauty and wellness as a reflection of cellular health, metabolic balance, and reduced oxidative stress, demonstrated through science and validated through measurement. And this brings me to our mission. I mean, really, at the end of the day, what's our mission and why are we on this call today? And I hope this mission resonates with you. Our mission is to empower people to look better, live better, and feel better through truly intelligent beauty and wellness platform. One that integrates science, technology, and AI-proven personalization in taking human behavior into a single connected ecosystem. So at the heart of this platform is a commitment to helping people. That's what Joe said. No harm, do not create any harm. Well, there's a difference between doing no harm and helping people. And that is what we're trying to do. We want people to live more productive, healthier lives by supporting people with better lifestyle choices, improved nutrition, and regular exercise and evidence-based, that's important, evidence-based supplementation. So just as important as we are committed to being a force for good, advancing scientific integrity, and using technology responsibly and improving the quality of life for individuals and communities around the world, we see a future increasingly shaped by personalization and preventative care. In fact, this is a $1 trillion industry, and it's growing at such an alarming rate because people want to take control of their health. They want to make informed decisions. They just don't know where to go. And there's very few places that they can go that people can say, go ahead and score on this non-invasive Prysm IO, get a general health barometer of where you are today, and here is the path by which you can go from here to a much higher score if you follow these principles of health and wellness. Now, we've seen this consistently done in practices, especially. There's many doctors here. I was just visiting with a doctor about a week ago who, using the Prysm IO, has converted roughly 50% of their patients on a subscription-based program of essential vitamins and minerals. And that is so important. So what happens is the doctor doesn't spend the time necessarily with the patient going over all these details. They basically say, have you had your Prysm IO score yet? And many of the patients simply say no, or the people they've talked to. This can also be true for any friends and family and so forth, but have you had a Prysm? And they said, no, what is that? Now in the clinic, they can just simply say, well, on your way out, when you meet with the receptionist, go ahead and get a score and let me know what that score is so that next time we talk, we can have that discussion. Well, of course, the receptionist has been trained, obviously, and they're able to do the score. And then the first question they ask is they say, well, what does that mean? And that gives the receptionist who has been trained to say, oh, here is a regimen of what your score means, what it's measuring, and here's a small direction of how you can, go ahead and move forward to improve that score. If you're interested, would you like to know more? Yes, I would. Okay, we can send the information to you. And based on your information, this is the recommendation Dr. So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so recommends for you. You can take a look at it, and they can send that subscription link to the individual right there and then. And that is such an important element of being able to connect with the customer or the client or the patient there in that specific location by capturing that opportunity right there and then, or personalized recommendation. You send that link to them. They can review the information. They can also look at all the science, the 80 different scientific papers, the 4 recent publications that we've done, or the 100 and whatever, I think it's now 44 different scientific publications that we've had over the last 23 years on the biophotonic scanner and Prysm IO. In addition to that, we have over 1,000 studies that we've either been part of or taken part of or done in-house or out of house that has supported us, not just on supplementation of carotenoids or essential vitamins and minerals, but what about skincare and specifically about protecting ourselves from UV rays that come? We have so many wonderful products that help us protect in so many different ways with lifestyle choices, with exercise, with skin repair and care, and specifically on the inside with nutrition and wellness. So you've heard a lot of data. Hopefully this has been helpful for knowledge. Data is everywhere, okay? Data is everywhere. So where's Nu Skin different? Where we really shine is purpose. We are driven by purpose. Purpose powers people. And with Nu Skin, the reason I'm here, that Dr. Chang's here, the reason Dr. Hester's here, is because we really believe and trust that the Prysm IO is really a game changer for people to understand their health a little bit better, to set up a standard by which they can move forward, and to truly make a difference in people's lives through intelligent choices. And so from my standpoint, I could go into all the details, but I think we've covered probably the majority of it. So I'll just leave it there, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Perfect. Si alguien tiene alguna pregunta que le quiera hacer al doctor Steve, we have one. When does the information sent via email is going to be available in Peru?
We're hoping to have that available for us within the next 30 days.
Okay. Well, people, right. I have one. I think for us, it's like the big change that we have is we used to have the biophotonic scanner, and now we have Prism IO. But the game changer is that everyone can have the Prism, as Dr. Joe Chan said, that everyone can like measure every day. What is like the intention of the company to do to make this big change?
Well, a couple of things real fast, just to be clear. I do have a presentation I could share if we have the time. I just don't know how much time. I'm worried
Yeah,
that we have,
you
I
can
could
go ahead. Don't worry for the time.
You're okay? Lily,
Yeah,
it's okay?
yeah. Lily is so happy.
Okay, good,
We
good,
have
good.
time. We have all the night for
Okay. Let me be very clear on this because this is so important. The only challenge that we've had in the past, because we've had this wonderful instrument right here that has changed so many people's lives around the world, is the fact you cannot put this in your pocket. You typically can't put it in your gym bag. You can't put it in these types of places. If Lily's going to go on a bike ride, it's very hard for her to put it in her pocket or anywhere else, right? Or gym bag, anywhere, right? And so scaling is impossible. Impossible, right? it's impossible. And so, and like we said, this cost, something close to $5,000, $7,000 before, and only a few people could afford it. And then there's maintenance fees and challenges and issues. And when people would move it, then it would become broken or things would happen to it. And so, although it's an incredible revolutionary device, the reality is it wasn't scalable. What was interesting and what was so compelling, and why Joe and I, Dr. Cheng and I, continued to show interest in it, was because for me, I've been doing this for now 33 years, and I've never seen a more compelling piece of evidence-based approach nutrition than what Nu Skin has and what they did with the biophotonic scanner. And when I came to the company, I said, why are we not focusing on this 100%? And they said, well, Steve, it's impossible to help everyone because the cost is just too high. And so we really started to look into specifically the ways to reduce the cost of the actual device while maintaining the integrity of the technology and the science. And we could not have done this 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even maybe 2 years ago. It's impossible. But with the advent of AI machine learning, we were able to take our database of 26 million data points, clean it up, which got it down to roughly about 22 million data points, and then take that data and look at it across all 50 markets and see this amazing data had a consistent behavioral pattern. When people focused on exercise, whatever that could be, gardening, could be walking, doesn't have to be lifting weights or running or biking. It can be very simple. But if they had a consistent exercise philosophy, if they had a consistent consumption of vegetables, broad spectrum of vegetables, if they had a generally good BMI and they got relatively good sleep, then we saw a consistent pattern of getting a high score on the biophotonic scanner. In addition to that, we found, generally speaking, a correlation between those groups who had a biophotonic scanner and the growth of their individual business, not just through nutritional supplements, but also the personal care side of the business. In fact, it was close to 47% more when somebody had a biophotonic scanner within their group. The problem is they couldn't get access to the biophotonic scanner. That was the challenge. The cost was too high, it was prohibitive, and people would sometimes go to one event, scan, And then they wouldn't see that person again because they lived in a different part of the country, or maybe they only had one event and they came to only see it one time, so they could never do the ongoing assessment. So Dr. Chang and I and the entire team of engineers and scientists looked really hard at how we could leverage AI and machine learning to be able to scale this and make it accessible to the world. So we were able to reduce the costs down to roughly about the, again, remember, $5,000 to $7,000. Now we're able to reduce it to roughly about 10% of that cost, depending on where you go, because we were able to correlate the data that Dr. Joe Chang had put together with his team and all the sales force had put together over time in clinics predominantly and doctors predominantly. And we were able to take that data and then do a correlation analysis, which is a very proprietary process that we have here that's patented, by the way. And we have 2 patents to validate and correlate this assessment to make sure that we knew for a fact that if we could measure it correctly in biophotonic scanner, we could also measure it correctly in the Prysm IO, and that those 2 numbers correlated. Then we had to go do our own, and I'm not sure if Shelly's still on or not, but I invite her to share if she could. We had to do a blood serum study to verify that if we extracted blood, that the correlation of the carotenoid levels in the blood was correlated to the score that we received on the Prysm IO. I don't know, Shelly, if you're still here or not, but she's not here?
I don't see her.
Okay, no problem. So from that standpoint, we have consistently tried to make sure that we understood the correlation. So we did this study and we validated it, and it's now being, you've seen the research, and I'm sure many of you have. If you haven't, I can send it to you, no problem. But it's all available now on Instagram. We actually made it ubiquitous. We made it available via Instagram, so you can share it. It's all there. It's all available to you. You can go to New Skin Product Insider, and you can now take that study. It's all available to you. So this is so important for you. Thank you, Dr. Romero. And hopefully I'm not taking away anything from what you were going to say, but I want to make sure you understand the background behind why we did this and why we felt it was so important. And yes, this is great. We're doing 4 studies right now, and I was gonna start sharing, and then I got so excited. So thank you, Dr. Romero. You're amazing for putting this up. So we have 4 clinical studies going right now. One with Stanford Medicine, Dr. Ann Chang, where we're looking at the benefits and the impact of carotenoids and specifically utilization of the supplements along with healthy lifestyle. Yonsei University, which we're also doing analysis, and Jintong University as well, to make sure that we understand the impact of healthy living and specifically supplementation and all those types of things. So all these are available to you. You can take a look at them. They're available to you via Instagram. Why do we put it on Instagram? Because most people are there. Now we have these in our clinical lab and our files and so forth as well, but we wanted to make sure that people have that. But the bottom line to your very, very simple question is, we have, in my opinion, one of the greatest advances in technology the world has never seen. And the reason they haven't seen it is because it wasn't scalable, and now it is. So we're going to take all of our clinical studies, all of the technology, now take the AI and machine learning, because you couldn't have done it without the data and without the clinicals that we have already, and leverage all of that science to be able to convert people. So it looks like, Dr. Romero, you have some slides. I want to leave time for you to go through any of this that you would like to go to, because you know this better than anyone. So I want to make sure that you're able to do so. But hopefully you understand, now we've put the power of health and wellness in your hands. You can now put this into your gym bag. You can put this into your purse. You can put this into your pocket. You can put this wherever you want. But the reality is that it is now scalable, and the world needs it. And there's 8 billion people out there who are consistently confused about what to do about their health and wellness. And you now have the power to help them. And if that doesn't mean purpose, I don't know what does.
Excellent. And Lily can wear it while she's biking.
That's right. She can.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
So thank you very much, Steve. I don't know. Héctor is gonna go ahead. Ya te doy la.
Micrófono, no tiene el micrófono.
I know we have Q&A for Steve. No sé si tenemos preguntas para el doctor Steve.
Ujú.
What kind of information are we going to be able to receive? I think you answered that.
The one thing I would mention while you're looking at the questions real fast is I'll go back to the Tesla analogy. We're just getting started, okay? So when you think about Prysm, okay, and you see, I look at what we have here, and obviously we have so many of these. Obviously here, this is the one. I have several here that I'm doing the testing on. And now you've probably seen the individual small little box, that little poquito box that this now comes in, and a little small little, and got one over there as well. And then what if there was a package that actually had the product in there along with this together as a starter pack? That would be kind of nice. So this is going to evolve. And what if I mentioned that Dr. Chang and the team, he was being very conservative earlier. So, I won't tarnish his amazing reputation, but because he doesn't have to say this, but I was just given an initial evaluation from many of his team who showed me that they were able to show a difference in 15 days. And this is on the core life pack products. So just imagine for a second when you have somebody who says, oh, I don't know if I should do this. Maybe I can't afford it. Maybe I don't know if I'll see a difference soon enough. These types of questions. Well, number one, money back guarantee. We stand by every single product we have. No questions. You don't see a difference, then send it back. You don't like it, send it back. No problem. Number two is, like Joe said, we will commit to, we have in the past between 60 and 90 days. We're now working on, because of this most recent study, a 15-day analysis. Once we have that finalized by legal and we go through all of the final balance of science and studies, we anticipate being able to release a 15-day improve your day. So think about this, 15 seconds, 15 days, change your life. That's what we're talking about. And think about if it was just in a small little box that was just here like this. So your 15 days would be all together in one neat little box right here, 15 days. And you say, hey, take the 15-day challenge. Boom. And then a lot of people will get confused. What's a carotenoid? Let me see the clinicals. What's all this? What's all that? What I've advised all doctors, scientists, everybody I've talked to, there's two words you say. No. I understand. You have a lot of questions. There's a lot of research. We can't cover it all here. Start here. Just start here. Do the research. Look at the science and start your path to wellness. And this is so simple. And every time I say that to doctors, they say, oh, you're right. Sometimes they get caught up in all of those details and all of the specifics. And really what I need to say is, trust me, it's a money back guarantee. Here's the difference demonstrated. Go ahead and go to work. So I think start here is the best way I could say get going with that. Now, I think you had a couple more questions. And Dr. Chang, I don't know if you wanted to add anything on that. You were kind enough to stay on. I wanted to make sure give you that opportunity because I've talked a lot there. Oh, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. No, what you say is absolutely correct. I'm so glad that, 15 days, you guys going to see an increase, right? So, yeah. But the point is, really, it doesn't matter whether it's 15 or 1 month. At the end of the day, you're going to get your money back on the business side anyway if it doesn't improve, right? So I don't know why a user should worry so much. But clearly after 2 weeks, you can see an improvement. That's wonderful. I think it'll be good. But like I say, you need to get those users. Going back to KK had a question that you need to get them go get a Prysm of their own. so that you can start off measuring. I mean, that's the whole point. Steve already told you. It's less than 10 times the original cost. Is what? No more than $500, depending on the market and so on, right? And when you look at it, I mean, people get on a weighing machine all the time. So with this one, you measure yourself every day. It would be great. It would be wonderful. It will help them. In fact, if anything else, just putting our products aside and just talk about nutrition, they will get into a habit that they will start thinking what they're eating. Okay? Frankly, Latinos in general has the worst score previously of all the global markets. So we need to help all my Latino friends to think about what they're eating. So give them a Prysm. Yeah, get them a Prysm.
And we love the idea of having the products with the Prysm. Is pretty good.
I would love to hear from Dr. Romero. I apologize, Dr. Romero. We've talked so much, and we want to hear.
We have a couple of questions if we can.
Sure.
One of them is from Dr. Romero. Let me. What products we're gonna have in Latin America?
Well, I'll take that one just real fast. That is a very complicated question. So we have till midnight. Is this right? Is this right?
Yeah.
No, I'm leaving. So go ahead.
No. But it is so unique to every single country. I want to be clear on this. What's available for Mexico is different than Argentina, which is different than Peru, which is different than Colombia. And the reason being is the regulatory process is just different in every single market. And we receive no benefit by being stratified and separated with our product offering. It hurts us actually, because we can't tell the same story every single place. We have to say, oh, you can use this product here, but not that product there. It's very frustrating for us. To answer your question in simple terms, we have now put together a program with our regulatory team to try to make every single product that we have here in America, if possible, available in South America. Now, with that said, the focus is going to be primarily on the initial 6 products that we talked about. Now, Dr. Chang and his team have put together formulas, along with Shelley Hester and the team, specific to South America. What we did is we personalized the actual formula to the diet in Latin America and South America and Central America. So we actually have customized these formulas now. So there are certain things that you get tremendous amounts. For instance, and Shelley showed you a little bit about the different nutrients, whether it's magnesium or calcium or vitamin D or vitamin E and so forth. These are all different levels of nutrients based on the food. We actually said, okay, what are the deficiencies in the generic amounts of people are eating? And we took that from the Lancet study that was co-authored by Harvard. And we said, what are the deficiencies? And then we actually layered in a supplement, Life Pack, that we are going to now reveal into South America. Yep, there it is. Thank you. On cue. You're amazing, Dr. Romero. And to be able to give you specific formula for Latin America, as Joe said. So if you look at this, is a great example. Look at the iodine levels. So in America, North America, it's all, it's green, blue, roughly, and so forth. But then if you look in South America, every single market has a different color, and almost. Brazil is yellow. I mean, you can see all this, and that's because there's just a different approach. So what we've done is we've actually customized and personalized this formula specifically to the general area in South America, so that we can be able to give you the nutrition you need. Now, with that said, we also hope to get the other 7 products now of the products into the markets there in South America. And Don Lovelace, who's the head over all of the South America, he's working closely with the regulatory team, and we hope to, within the next 12 months, have at least an additional 3 to 6 products available for you in all markets down there. we'll have a list of those. I'm heading to Argentina, I believe, in a month or two, doing a presentation there. My goal was to have all of South America and the timeline for South America finalized by the end of February, so that you can see when the products will be coming, or at least the plan for when products are coming, so then you can plan for it. But you have products now in each individual country to be able to build with.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. I think we have one more about G3. If the G3 can like supplement a person good enough to have all the nutrients that we need, or just part of it.
Joe, that looks like one for you.
Yeah. So repeat the question for me again. Okay.
Dr. Chan, the G3, we're talking about G3. Is like G3 enough to have all the supplements that we need, or we have to, or just part of it, and we need more supplements?
No, G3 is not the most complete one. You need to take that together with another supplement.
Okay.
All right. It's just like saying drinking orange juice is enough to get all the fruits that you need.
Okay.
I need to get you guys onto another sort of understanding. This is going to be quite, how should I say it? In English, I would say it's quite nuanced, but it's important for all of you, right, to understand about the Prysm. Many of you have used the scanner before, right?
Yes.
The previous scanner. See? Yeah. So, like I mentioned to you, there was antioxidant. All right. Now, because of 20 years of research and all the data that we got through our AI, everything, we're now saying that the Prysm is measuring nutritional health.
Okay.
Comprende?
Comprendido.
All right. Second point. If you keep on saying it's carotenoid, it measures carotenoid, one day you will be getting a question and say, so really, it's just only about carotenoids. Help me understand how that is important to address nutritional deficiency when Steve has told you that it varies from Latino country, right? So, and also like LifePak and even G3, it has more than just carotenoids in there, right? Up to this point, do you understand what I'm saying? So therefore, what we have shown with the carotenoid, yes, we're still measuring carotenoid. It is, in addition to being a biomarker of nutrition, it is also a biomarker of other non-carotenoid nutrient absorption. Comprende?
Comprende.
Again, please.
So it's
Sorry, again.
Please, let's start again.
Oh, I didn't get it. Sorry.
okay. So first, we talk about antioxidant. All right. Yes, it's a biomarker of antioxidant, and we converted that to be a biomarker of nutrition. Okay. Now I'm telling you, it's more than that, because if you look at LifePak, or even, like I say, even G3, it has more than just carotenoid. It has other ingredients in that. Correct? In fact, in LifePak, I don't know what the Latin one, at least we have at least 40 ingredients in some of our LifePaks. Correct? And they're not carotenoids. So what we have shown, so Hector is already putting up that list, many. So what we have shown is that with the Prysm, we are also measuring the absorption of those nutrients into the body.
Okay.
Joe, just so you know, I know that you said G3 is it's not the only thing, but some markets only have a few products. So can I just say, because I love G3 so much. This is the normal sized bottle.
Yeah.
This is normal, and this is the bottle I drink from right here because I love G3. And it actually was signed.
Okay, you can drink more. Your markets don't have other things. Yeah. So obviously,
This
Wow.
and the reason it comes is because it has lipokerratine. Now, this is the
Okay.
only bottle like it. So, but I love G3, and many of, as Shelley Hester said, kids love G3. And when you don't have anything in your diet and you can't get the carotenoids from the broad brush of foods that you're eating to supplement with G3 is amazing. And the best situation, as Joe mentioned, is that plus something like Life Pack or in combination to have all the nutrients that Joe's talking about here, that is here in the individual box. That is the key. Our goal through this biomarker is to draw your attention to wellness and to provide you supplements that will give you comprehensive support, not just one or two dimensional ingredients. But I love my G3. It's amazing.
Yeah. But remember, even with G3, it's not just the lipokeratines.
That's right.
Okay, it has vitamin C and other vitamins in that.
That's right.
And that will also be driven into the body. That can be shown with the Prysm. Okay, so that's why it's a bit difficult to sort of look at this in a way, but that's what I'm saying. It's a biomarker of nutrition, also a biomarker of absorption of other nutrients.
That's right.
We have, I think,
That's
one
why the
last,
Prysm is so important. Yeah.
sorry. One question is like how Prysm can measure antioxidant.
Because we already have from other studies, not with the Prysm, okay, but other sort of we call them ancillary studies, connecting studies, or whatever, that we can show that this is what one of our professors, Lester Pecker, used to tell us. You see, antioxidants are all interconnected together. Okay, and therefore it's like a piece of cloth, and the carotenoid is sticking out of the cloth. And if you pick on it, the whole piece of cloth unravels, it breaks apart. So, in other words, the carotenoid belongs to this network. And that's why it's such a good biomarker of all the other antioxidants as well.
Perfect.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
And the last one is I can drink G3 for a lot of time. For example, 1 year without stopping.
Yes. I think about G3 like a very much more nutritious orange juice.
Okay.
Do you drink orange juice every day? Yeah, breakfast, many people, right? But it's not as good as our G3. So don't think our G3 is, they're all made from fruits.
Perfect. I don't have any questions. No more questions. I don't know if you want to tell us something more or just let Hector start your presentation.
I want you to give us a target. How many Prysms are you going to sell? How many are you going to get Prysms into the hands of your group or new people or customers or whatever? How many do you think you are going to do? Hector?
Jimena says 100 for herself. Hector said 250 from Peru.
Just from Peru?
For his team. Harumi is from Peru and she said 150.
Then you're not maximizing. Okay. Then you are not maximizing. I think you should go at the minimum 1,000.
Yeah.
Even for Peru, it's not that expensive, right?
No.
yeah. So,
Consuelo say 200,
oh,
Consuelo
Consuelo
said,
said, I love Consuelo. Okay.
and then
said
she brought
2,000.
2,000.
Oh, who
so
said 2,000? Yeah, this is like a
Consuelo as well.
yeah. But here, Joe, you're absolutely right. Let me explain one thing that's really important that I think is applicable here. When I was in Mexico,
yeah.
Forbes Mexico interviewed me. And when they interviewed me, they asked the question, what Joe just asked. They said, how many Prysms do you think will be sold in South America, in Central America, and globally? And before I even answered, the person who's asking the question said, you know, this number, like in the millions. And I kind of looked, I thought, wow, you know, why would they ask? Why would they say such a big number?
Yeah.
And then they proceeded, the interviewer actually proceeded to say, I've never seen a company do this type of research and make it available to everyone. And the people here in these parts of the world need this so bad. And you are actually coming with not just, hey, here's a product and you're just going to share something again like everyone else does. You've actually taken the time to do the science, the rigor, and the clinical studies to validate a difference demonstrated in your money back. You should be selling millions of these everywhere. I mean, this is so simple to me. Do you believe that? I mean, do you believe it? Like kind of like they were telling me, they were selling me on it. And I said, well, it remains to be seen. But the reality is I would agree with Consuela. I mean, 2000, let's go, because the opportunity, you have to get the belief system. If you read the clinicals, if you read the research, if you understand the difference demonstrated about what Dr. Chang and the team have put together, you stop asking questions like, oh, is this going to make sense and so forth. And you start to say, let's start here, because you're helping people have a better life. And compliance, as you know, is so important. And if they stay on it consistently, the lifetime value of that customer, the compliance, and the outcomes are so much better. So what Joe has given us is a great gift. So I like the idea of, I think Consuela, you said 2,000, and I think we should go bigger. And it's not just because we want to sell a whole bunch of product. We've done that. We're a billion-dollar company. That's not the issue. The issue is how many people we'll be able to help. That's the way I frame it. Joe, I think you've always said, we don't make products to make products. We make products to help people.
And in return, Steve will promise that we both will come back on another call when you hit 2,000.
There you go. Done.
Anytime, any day. See?
Done.
2,000. You
agreed.
Once you hit 1,910 or 1,999, Hector will call and we'll schedule another meeting and to help you understand even more.
So it's Consuelo that put the number out there, right, for Peru?
Oh.
Is that right?
Hello.
Yeah. What's Consuelo?
Okay, so Consuelo,
Man.
just so you know, you put it out there. There's only one of these bottles in the whole world, right here. In addition to doing the call, I will send this personally to you. Only one in the world. This is the only one signed by Joe Chang.
Oh, that's the autograph one.
That's the autograph. This is Truman Hunt and Blake Roney, the founder. Consuelo, you hit 2,000. This is coming to you. Okay? That's the deal. That's the call.
Consuelo a trabajar.
Out there and you said, let's do it. And I love when people push. I love how Joe asked the question, and I loved how you said, let's go. And when people put big goals out there, I'm a big fitness fan, and I love it when you put a big goal out there, because if you don't put a big goal out there, you'll never go after it. We go after big goals at Nu Skin because we have a lot of people to help. So let's go help them.
Steve, about the fitness that you just talk about, when we measure any person with the app, we have like the result of you have to sleep better, you can eat better, or you can have these supplements. But what about the fitness? How can I tell anyone, oh, you have to do this kind of exercise, or there's like or just do anything about the
Joe,
fit?
you want to hit that?
Yeah. You know, for the fit people, right? You know, every time they exercise, they are going to break or damage some tissue in their body. So, in other words, they're always going to have a lot of free radicals being generated in the body. Especially the people who sort of lift weights. In order for the muscle to grow, they have to break the muscle before it can grow. If muscle doesn't break, they call them micro breaks, okay? Then the muscle will not get stronger and bigger. That's why they lift weights and that's why they break. That's just how it works, okay? And once again, they will also generate quite a bit of free radicals. And therefore, the Prysm will help them monitor their nutritional health, because nutrition is the most critical piece of their fitness. Because if they don't eat well and they don't have enough antioxidants in their body, they're going to have free radical damage. So I think every fit person, it's very interesting. Not every fit person knows what their diet is. It's very strange. And this is one opportunity. They measure everything else, right? Those, especially for that particular group of people, they measure their VO2 max, they measure their breathing, heart rate, and this is the most important thing they should be monitoring.
It's such an important element. So
Yeah.
we did a study in Southeast Asia, and we actually saw with BMI, specifically those who exercise. Remember, I said you did not have to be a performance athlete, a triathlete. You don't have to do all this. You could be consistent. You got to move. Okay, you got to move. That's the key. Movement is the key. Find your movement. I've had people who, somebody who's stuck in a wheelchair, but they can move their arms, right? So they grab two bags of peas from the freezer and they do this, right? I mean, we're not talking about trying to, but other people, they go hard, like Joe's saying. And somebody like Lily, who bikes so hard, she has created massive amounts of metabolic waste when she's biking, massive amounts of metabolic waste. And that metabolic waste, if not addressed with basically antioxidants, such as the ones we're talking about, it will continue to create all sorts of problems, inflammation, all sorts of challenges over time. It's wonderful to get the exercise, but if you don't have a commensurate amount of antioxidants to support and adjust for that metabolic waste, then you will consistently have challenges. And so for athletes especially, what's amazing to me is I cannot tell you how many times I've had athletes walk through this door. They're between the ages of 25 to even say 55. They talk about how fit they are. They even want to take off their shirt and show me how fit they are and so forth. And I test them and they're low. Because they don't understand the fundamental principle that the outside is not necessarily saying what's on the inside. It's just not. You're getting a snapshot of the inside with the Prysm IO, with the biophotonic scanner. You're finding out what's happening inside your body. And most athletes, once they get past their pride and once they get past their ego and they get honest about it, because when they're in front of their friends, they always say the same thing every single time. Oh, Steve, no, this must be wrong. This must be wrong. And I say, okay, I believe you. Yeah, no problem. Then the friends leave and they come over and they say, oh my gosh, can we do that one more time? And then we do it. And then I say, tell me a little bit about your lifestyle. And I can tell you with 100% certainty, the 4 elements we've talked about, whether it's proper diet, proper sleep, stress lifestyle, and or specifically supplementation, there's gaps. And when we get them on a program and we say, look, this is the path for you to be able to do it so that you can be able to get on your health journey with proper supplementation. You're not always going to get the most amount of sleep. You're not always going to get the perfect training. You're not always going to get the perfect food. You're going to be out and going. But the one thing you can control is the 1 minute you take to take a supplement or a product that you can control. You put it in your purse, and then you keep measuring. That's the difference. And so, yeah, exercise is important, but we did a study and we showed directly that BMI directly correlates and or healthy individuals who exercise, because we wanted to know for our TRME program that we had in Southeast Asia, whether there was a correlation to Prysm IO score and biophotonic score and exercise. And there was a direct correlation. In fact, it was one of the most significant correlations. And then when we went back to our data of 22 million data points, it cross-correlated that data again by the questionnaire we asked, do you exercise? And those people who exercised and those people who had a normal BMI scored always higher. And those who didn't always scored lower. It was very simple. Correlation is very simple. So.
What a good point. Thank you very much. And now, before we let Hector start to speak with us, we want to thank you, Steve and Dr. Chan, for everything you have told us. I know we can keep talking all night long about this because we are so excited about it. But thank you very much for everything, for being with us. We accept the challenge, the 2000 challenge, for the battle for Consuelo and for the next meeting with you too. Thank you.